active and what? Passive voices. So we talked about some of the usages about why we use what? A passive sentence. Now the question is how can we change? How can we change, for example, this sentence to passive? She opens the door. She opens the door. How can I change this sentence to? This is an active sentence, and we discussed about the rules. What is an active sentence? And we also have what? A passive sentence. How can I change an active sentence to a passive sentence? And why we use active and passive? So what is an active sentence? What is important in an active sentence? In active sentence, what is important? The door of an action is very important. Now in passive and active convey the same message or different messages? The same message. Remember that. So and we also said yesterday that if we have active sentences, why should we use passive? That's the question. Can you tell me the reasons why we use passive? Okay. Yeah, the first thing we discussed yesterday, when it's not necessary who does the action, or when it's not important. For example, if I say your hand will be x-rayed, and it's not important by which doctor, a nurse, a physiotherapist, or a doctor or physician. Or we also said that chairs are imported from Pakistan or Iran. Is it important to mention who imported these chairs? No. Or for example, we say gas. Gas is important from Iran. Is it important who imports it? No. The second point, why we use passive, can you tell me? When it's not clear who did the action, or when we use which pronouns? Indefinite pronouns. What are indefinite pronouns? Somebody, someone, nobody, no one, something, and these things. So when we have these indefinite pronouns, at that time we don't need to use active. What should we use? Passive. If I say somebody broke this chair. Now it's not clear. What should I use here? And instead of using active is also right. Somebody broke the chair. But instead of using active sentence, what should I say? The chair was broken. The chair was broken. The door was broken. And the next one, number 3, when the subject is what? People. If I say people, for example, people raise money. Instead of saying people raise money, what do we say? The money is raised. People build schools. Instead of saying people build schools, what should I say? Schools are built. You see, we don't have to mention by people. So everybody, for all people we say. And the next one, when the door of when the action is more important than what? The door of an action. For example, we talked about it. When the action is more important, as I said. When I just focus, when I just focus on the broken chair, I don't care whether it was a she or a he or a kid or a boy or whatever, whoever broke it. It's not important. What is important for me now here? This action important. I have to fix it. The glass is broken. The door was broken. Or if I say the bike was stolen, it's not important, for example, for me who stole it. I care who stole it. I don't care who stole it. I care that this is stolen. The action is important. Now, today we will talk about how to change an active to passive. We also said yesterday about how to change an active sentence into passive. So what is rule number 1? If you want to change an active sentence to a passive one. When number 1, when the verb must be what? Transitive verbs. If the verb is a transitive verb, then at that time you can change an active sentence to a passive. And the second point? What is the second point? When the okay, very nice. Subject becomes object, object becomes subject. Now there is a sentence here. She opens the door. What is step number 1? First, we have to say find the verb. What is the verb here? Opened. Now, is this a transitive verb or intransitive verb? This is what? Transitive verb. How can I? So step number 1 is done. Step number 2. Subject becomes object. Object becomes what? Subject. Now, what is subject here? She. What is object here? The door. So the door comes here. And the next one, and she becomes object. What is the object of she? Her. Step number 3. We use, what do we use? We use to be. Here, I said if I want to change rule number 1, it should be what? Transitive verb. The verb should be transitive. Rule number 2, we say subject becomes object and object becomes what? Subject. Rule number 3. So we always to be verb plus what? Past participle. What is a past participle? Third form of the verb. Now this to be verb could be different forms. It can be is or am or are, or it could be past like was or were. It could be being, or it could be what? Been. Or it can also be just be for future. We'll discuss about them all today. Now here, this is a simple present tense. In simple present tense, how should I use? Here we have to use to be verb. We can say is, and what is the past participle of opened? It becomes what? Opened. And then if you want to mention the agent is the person who does the action. We use a what? By phrase. Now here we can say she opens the door, or we can say the door what? The door is opened by her. Now here, step number 1. It's a transitive verb or intransitive verb? Step number 2. Objective active becomes subjective passive, and subjective active becomes the objective what? Passive. And this is the form of the verb. That is the general rule. Everybody knows it. Let me give one more example. He wrote a letter. He wrote a letter. How can I change this sentence to passive? He wrote a letter. So let's go to this step. Step number 1. Find the verb. What is the verb? Right. Wrote. Is it a transitive verb now or intransitive verb? So if it's a transitive verb, it's done. Step number 2. Subject becomes object. Object becomes what? Subject. We can say a letter. Now he becomes what? Him. Now in between, how can I change the verb form? We use be plus past participle. Which be should I use here? Was. Why? Because a letter is singular, and we use past. Here we say was. What is the past participle of right? Written. And I have to mention the by phrase, by him. Now subject becomes object. Object becomes what? Subject. So let's say like this. The subjective active sentence becomes the objective passive, and the objective active sentence becomes the subjective what? Passive. Now that was just the general rule for how to change an active sentence to a passive. Now let's talk about each and every one of the tenses, about each and every one of them, about how to change them. So let's start from the first tense. What is the first tense? Yeah. If I have, look, there are active sentences, and if I want to change them to what? Passive. First one. Number 1. If we have a simple present tense, active simple present tense, how can I change it to passive? Can you tell me the structure? I told you we use to be verb. What is the to be verb for simple present tense? Very nice. We use is, am, or are. After that, what do we use? We use past participle. You know what is past participle? Third form of the verb. That is rule number 1. For example, I write the examples here. You say, I cleaned my room. I cleaned my room. First, what is the subject here? Subject, object. Subject is I. What is the verb here? Clean. What is my room here? Object. So is changeable or unchangeable? Changeable. Why? Because it has it's a transitive verb. Now, first of all, here we say this a transitive verb. Subject becomes object. Object becomes passive. What is object here? My room. After that, what is the to be verb here? Is or are? My room is cleaned, and if you want to mention the by phrase, we say by me. In simple present tense, if you change active, what do we say? To be verb plus past participle. My room is cleaned by me. Or the next sentence, Ali, we can say Ali. Ali watches, for example, a movie. Ali watches a movie. Now, how can I change it to passive? Ali watches a movie. What is subject here? Subject is Ali. Second verb is what? Watches. And a movie is what? Object. How should I change it now? A movie is watched or are watched? Is watched. A movie is watched by what? By Ali. Can you change this sentence? You walk home. Can you change it? Is it changeable or not changeable? Why is it unchangeable? Walk is transitive verb or intransitive verb? We discussed about transitive verbs, yeah? So it's intransitive verb, we cannot change it. So I said the first step is to look for the verb. If it's changeable, then you can go ahead. If it's not changeable, just remove it. You just write unchangeable. Is it difficult? Or if I say I write articles every week. I write articles every day. How can I change it to passive? First of all, find the verb. What is the verb? The verb is right. Subject is I, verb, and which one is object? Articles. How can I change it now? Articles is or are? Why are? Because it's plural. Everybody knows it. Articles are wrote or written. Articles are written by whom? By me every day. This is how we can change it. So subject becomes object, object becomes what? Subject becomes object, object becomes subject. Is it difficult? No. Now that is the first rule. Number two, if we have a present continuous tense, how can I change a present progressive tense or present continuous tense? How do we change it? We can say is or are or am plus what? Being plus past participle. This is how we can change this one. Let me clean that side. Now, if I have a present continuous tense, look. If I say you are taking notes. You are taking notes. The first thing, what is the subject here? Subject is you, and this is to be verb. This is verb, and what is notes here? Object. How can I change this sentence to passive? So this is what tense is this? It's a present continuous tense. How can I change it now? We have to say notes. Very nice. Notes is or notes are? Very nice. Notes are being what? Taking or taken? Taken by what? By you. Notes are being taken by you. It's very easy. Isn't it easy? If I say next one, Zahra is reading a book. How can I change it? Zahra is reading a book. What is subject here? Zahra. What is verb here? Reading. And a book is what? Object. How can I change it now? We can say a book is or a book are? A book is being read, by Zahra. Here, the past participle of read is what? Read. The sound changes. So read, read, and read. Don't say I read a book yesterday. Can I say that? What should I say? I read a book yesterday. The sound changes. Or next one, if I say he is teaching the students. How can you change it to passive? He is teaching the students. What is subject here first? Subject is he, this is verb, and object is what? The students. How can you change it to passive? Come on. The students is or the students are? The students are being taught by whom? By him. So a present continuous tense can be changed like this. You have any question here? No, it's very easy. Now let's go to another tense. Number 3. If I have what comes after the present continuous? Present perfect. How can I change a present perfect tense to passive? So we use have and has plus what? Been plus past participle. So let's change it. Now if I want to change, if I have a sentence like this, I have written a book. How can you change it to passive? So first of all, again find the subject. What is the subject here? I. So subject is I, and the verb is written, and object is what? A book. How can you change it now? A book have or a book has? A book. Why a book has? Because a book is singular. A book has been what? Has been written by me. A book has been written by me. Here we use been plus third form of the verb. Or I can also say you have fixed your phone. How can you change it to passive? You have fixed your phone. What is the subject here? Subject is you, and verb, and what is phone here? Object. How can you change it now? Your phone has or has been what? Fixed. Your phone has been fixed. If you want to mention the agent, you can say by who? By you. Or the next one, they have prepared the reports. How can you change it to passive? They have prepared the reports. Yeah, we have to. What is subject here? They. What is the verb here? Prepared. What is the object here? Reports. How should I change it now? The reports. The reports have been prepared by whom? By they or them. So this is how we can change a present perfect tense to passive. What do we use here? We use been. What is been? Been is the third form of be. Very good. Now, number 4, if I have a present perfect continuous tense, is it changeable? Present perfect continuous tense is actually changeable, but it's rarely used. Remember that. How do you change it? We also use have or has plus been plus being plus what? Past participle or third form of the verb. This is the way we change. But remember, this tense is what? Rarely used in passive. Rarely used passive, it means around 10% or 5%. Some of the books say that this sentence is what? This tense is unchangeable. But here it's changeable, but it's what? It's rarely used. You have to keep in mind. I have seen sample in some books, they change present perfect continuous to passive, but it's not common. Remember that. If I have like this, she have or she has? She has been doing her homework. How can you change it to passive? She has been doing her homework. Now, what tense is this first? Look at that. What tense is this? It's a present perfect continuous. This is subject, this is verb, and which one is object? Her homework. What should I say now? Her homework has been being done by whom? By her. So here, this is structure. This is present perfect continuous passive, which is rarely used in passive. Or if I say, they have been typing their articles. What tense is this? They have been typing their articles. Again, present perfect progressive tense. How should I change? This is subject, this is the verb, this one is what? Object. What should I say? Their articles are or is. Their articles are or have. Their articles have been, why do you say are? Have been being typed by whom? By them. Now here, this is the way we change present perfect continuous tense. But remember, it's what? It's rarely used in passive. Now, the next one, number 5. If we have a simple past tense, how can I change a simple past tense to passive? How can you change it? For simple past tense, we use was or. The to be verb should be was and or. We say was or were plus what? Plus past participle or what do we say? Third form of the verb. So how should we change it? Now, if I have a sentence like this, he broke his leg. A very easy sentence. He broke his leg. What is the verb here? Is it a transitive verb or intransitive verb? So he's a transitive verb, and this is subject, this is the verb, this is the object. How should I change it? His leg is broken or was broken? His leg was broken. By whom? By him. Alright, then if I say a sentence like this, Ali, we can say Ali sent the, we can say, the letters. How can I change it to passive? Ali sent the letters. What is subject here first? This is subject. Which one is verb? Sent. Which one is the object? The letters. How should I change it now? I have to say the letters. Very good. The letters are or is. Huh? The letters were or was. Which one? Were sent by whom? By Ali. Is this difficult? Of course it's not difficult. Or we can say we locked the door. How can you change it to passive? We locked the door. What is subject here? Lock is, subject is we. What is verb here? Lock. Which one is the object? Door. How should I say now? The door, very nice. The door is or was? Very nice. Was locked by whom? By us. I said if you want to mention the agent, we have to use which phrase? By phrase, okay? By plus. The next tense, we have number 6. If I have a past, what tense? Past progressive tense or past continuous tense. How can I change a past continuous tense to passive? So here we use what? Was, were, plus being plus what? Third form of the verb or past participle. This is the way we change it. So now let's go and give examples for past continuous tense. I say I was checking the notebooks. How can you change it to passive? I was checking the notebooks. How can you change it? So what is subject here? I. What is the verb? Check. And which one is the object? The notebooks. How should I change it now? I have to say the notebooks. The notebooks are or were. The notebooks were being checked by whom? By I becomes what? Me. Or the next sentence, if I say he was washing his car. Change it to passive. Huh? So he was washing his car. This is subject. This is the verb. This one is what? The object. How should I change it now? His car was being or his car was being what? Washed. By whom? By him. Did you understand this one? Change this one. I was writing an essay. Was being what? Written by me. I was fixing my phone. Change it to passive. My phone is or was? My phone was being fixed. He was cleaning the classrooms. The classrooms were being. Yeah, classrooms were being cleaned by him. He was. If I change this one, he was sitting in the office. Why? Unchangeable. I was walking on the street. Is it changeable? I was standing here yesterday. Is it changeable? Why is it unchangeable? Because it's an transitive verb or intransitive verb? It's an intransitive verb. Now let's go to the next tense. And what is the next tense? If I have a past perfect tense. Number 7. How can we change a past perfect tense to passive? We use again here. We use had plus been plus what? Past participle or what do we say? Third form of the verb. For example, he had written an article. He had written an article. How can you change it now? So he had written an article. This is subject. This is verb. This is what? An object. How should I say now? an article had been written or had written? Had been written by what? By him. And the next one, we can say when I arrived, she had finished. She had finished the report. Change it to passive. When I arrived, very nice. We can say when I arrived or arrived. When I arrived, this is subject, this is verb. Which one is, sorry, this is verb. Which one is object? The report. How should I change it now? When I arrived, the report had been what? Finished. By what? By her. Is it difficult? Okay, good. Now this is the way we can change a past perfect tense to what? Passive. Let's give one more example. By the time he arrived, they had actually washed all the cars. How can you change it to passive? By the time he arrived, they had washed all the cars. How should you change it now? So here this is the phrase, we write it down. By the time, very nice. By the time he arrived, very nice. Here, this is subject, this is verb, and which one is object? Cars. How should I say now? All the cars had what? Had been washed. By whom? By them. Is it difficult? No. Now the next tense, we have number 8. If I have a past perfect continuous tense, and this is also rarely used. So how should I change it? We use had plus been plus, come on, being plus third form of the verb or past participle. So let's talk about it. Remember guys, this tense is also rarely used. We don't use it a lot. Most of the books consider these tenses as unchangeable tenses. So here, this structure, so we can also write it rarely. We can say rarely used and passive. If I have a sentence like this, I had been writing my book for example for a year before I left. How should I change this sentence? I had been writing my book for a year before I left. So what tense is this? I had been writing my book. This is subject, this is verb. Which one is object? My book. How should I say? My book had or has? My book had been, come on, had been being write or written? Written for an hour, for an hour before, sorry, an hour, no, a year. Why should I say before I left? It's the way we change it, but it's not very common. Remember, it's rarely used. If I say you had been cleaning the office, how should I change it to passive? You had been cleaning the office. So how should I say? The office, very good. The office had been being what? Cleaned. By whom? By you. Any question here? So remember, this tense and also this tense are rarely used in what? Passive. Now let's go and talk about the past tenses. We are done with present tenses and also past tenses. Let's go and talk about, sorry, future tenses. Should I clean? Yeah. Now, if I want to change the simple future tense to passive, how should I change it to passive? For simple future tense, what do we use? Mostly we use will. So here we use will plus be plus what? Past participle. For example, he will, for example, help you. Change it to passive. He will help you.
He will be helped.
So here, this is subject, this is verb, and this is what? Object. How should I change? You will be helped by what? By him. So we use will plus be plus what? Past participle. Or if I say another one, she will actually, she will fix, not fix, she will repair your, for example, car. Change it now. She will repair your car. Okay, so what is, this is subject, this is verb, this one is what? Object. What should I say now? Your car will be repaired. Your car will be repaired. By whom? By her. Or the next one, the president actually will deliver a speech. How should I change it to passive? Huh? So what is verb here? This is subject, verb, and this is what? Object. How should I change it now? Very nice. We can say a speech will be delivered by whom? By the president. And speech will be delivered by the president. So this is how we can change simple future tense to passive. Now, if I have the next one, number 2. If I have a future continuous tense, this tense is also rarely used in passive. Remember that. It's what? Rarely used in what? In passive. So let's see how we can change this tense to passive. If I have a sentence like this, if I say he will be, look, he will be doing his job. He will be doing his job. How can I change it to passive? Now, what is subject here? This is subject. Which one is verb? Doing, and his job is what? Object. How should I change now? His job will be being done by whom? By him. So remember, this tense is rarely used. What is this? It's rarely used. If I say we will be, for example, we say we will be playing games. How should I change it to passive? We will be playing games. So games, what will be being what? Played. By whom? By us. So this tense is what? This tense is rarely used. The next tense, if I have a future tense, future what? Future perfect. How can I change a future perfect to passive? So here, if I want to change a future perfect to passive, I have to use will, come on, plus have. In perfect tenses, we use what? Been, and we use what? The third form of the verb. This is the way we can change it. Now, if I say he will have prepared a presentation. How can I change it to passive? He will have prepared a presentation. What is subject here? He. Which one is verb here? Prepare. Which one is object here? Presentation. How should I change it to passive? Very nice. We can say a presentation will have been prepared by what? By him or her. Or if I say she will have She will have, for example, sung. What is the past participle of sing? Sung, okay? She will have sung a song before we arrive. How should I change it now? She will have sung a song. What is subject here? She. Which one is verb here? Sing. And which one is object? Song. How should I change? A song will have been sung by whom? By her. A song will have been sung by her. Is that difficult? The next tense. If I have another tense, what tense is that? This is a future perfect continuous tense. How should I change a future perfect continuous tense? Remember, this is also rarely used in passive. Most of the books I told you can consider these tenses unchangeable. So here, how should I change? We use will plus have plus been plus being plus third form of the verb. This is the way we change it. For example, look, if I say she will have been cleaning the kitchen. Change it to passive. She will have been cleaning the kitchen. What is subject here? Subject is she. What is verb here? Cleaning. Which one is object here? Kitchen. How should I say now? We can say that the kitchen will have been being very nice, clean or cleaned? Cleaned by what? By her. That's the way we change it. Look. But this is not very common. What do we say? It's rarely used in passive. Now, do you have any question? We discussed about all the tenses except how many tenses which are rarely used? We have present perfect continuous tense. Very good. Past perfect continuous tense. Future continuous. And future perfect continuous tenses. These progressive forms are what? Rarely used in passive. I said if you read a book and you face a problem, and then if you study a book and you face that these tenses are written unchangeable, don't be surprised. So they can be changed, but they are what? Rarely used in the passive. Now, if you don't have any questions in this part, let's go and talk about how to change auxiliary verbs to passive. Done? Good. So, we will talk about the auxiliary verbs. After that, we will go to the questions. How should we change the questions to passive? If we have yes/no questions or double-H questions. Here, how should we change the model? Can you tell me the model auxiliary verbs? What are the model auxiliary verbs? We have can't, we have could, we have may, we have should, including will, we have would, we have, we don't use, if we use I, we can use shall, but instead of shall we use what? Will. Next one. We have ought, we have must. What else do we have? Sometimes if we have model phrase like have to, and also we have what? Had better. How should I change them to passive? If I want to change them to passive, all of them, what do we use? We use plus be plus what? Past participle. Be plus past participle. For example, except this one, except ought. After ought, what infinitive do we use? Full infinitive. What should I use? We also use to. And after have to, we have to, but the rest of them take what? We don't use to. For example, if I say, I can't fix this car, how should I change it to passive? What is subject here? I. Which one is verb here? Fix. Which one is object here? This car. How should I say? This car can be fixed. By whom?
By me.
By me. So if we have a model auxiliary verb can't, we can change it by be. You use be after that. If I say you could drive a car, change it to passive. So we can say a car could be drive or driven. Driven by you. Or if I say she may help you. Change it to passive. She may help you. Change it. We can say you, very nice, you may be helped by what? By her. If I say we might actually we might read the magazines. So how can you change it to passive? We might read the magazines. So we can say the magazines, what do we say? Might be what? Read or read? We change the sound. Read becomes what? Read. Now we can give examples for all of them. Let me give some more examples. If I have another sentence, for example, if I have should, no? If I say you should complete your assignments. You should complete your assignments. Change it to passive. You should complete your assignments. How can you change it to passive? So we can say your assignments, very nice. Your assignments should be completed. By whom? By you. If you want to mention the agent, we use what? By. Or if I have another one, if I say ought, we ought to repair the machines. Change it to passive. Machines. We ought to repair the machines. Which one is subject here? We. Which one is verb here? Repair. Which one is the object? The machines. How should I say? The machines, very nice. The machines ought to be, very nice, ought to be repaired by whom? By us. If you want to mention the agent, we use a by. If I have another sentence, for example, if I have must or have to, or let's say another example for had better. For example, you had better tell him the truth. You had better tell him the truth. How can you change it to passive? So you had better tell him the truth. So we have double object. I will make some more examples for that. But right now, how can you change it? So we can say this. I will tell you the truth. Very nice. Had better be what? Told to him by you. Or another way, how can you change it? You can say he had better, very nice, he had better be told the truth. Is that difficult? Or next one, I have to write a book. Change it to passive. I have to write a book. How can you change it to passive? So we can say a book, very nice. A book have to or has to? So here we have to say has to be written. Why did I use has to? Because a book is not half. Book is what? Singular. Singular or plural? Singular. So we don't use have to. Now these are the ways that we can change what? Auxiliary verbs to passive ways. Now let's go and talk about the double object. If we have double objects in the sentence, how can we change them to passive? If I have a sentence like this, I sent him a letter. Change it to passive. First of all, find the subject. What is subject? I. Which one is the verb? I. Now this sent is which kind of auxiliary? Which one? What kind of verb is this? It's a transitive verb. What transitive verb? It's a ditransitive verb. It has what? Two objects. So what are the objects? Him and also a letter. Now, which one is the direct object and which one is the indirect object? Which one is the direct object? I said the direct object is directly affected by the verb. Which one is directly affected by the verb? So this letter is directly affected by the verb. So this is the verb, and this sending happens on what? Letter. So this is, what object is this? This is a direct object. And which one is in the indirect object? So here, him is what? And indirect object. Now, as if you want to change this sentence to passive, we have two options here. The first thing, actually, we can use any of them or either of them as a subject. So which one should I use now? Let's use a letter. So we can say a letter. Very nice. A letter. What tense is this? Past tense. We can say a letter was sent. Now, if you use like this, then after, if you change it to passive, we use to. Okay. A letter was sent to what? To him by what? By me. Or another possibility. What's another possibility? We can use the indirect object as a what? As a subject. So what should I say? So here you say he was, very nice, he was sent a letter. He was sent a letter by whom? By me. He was sent a letter by me. So I said if you use like this before the indirect object, what do we use? A to. Okay, remember that. If I say another one, look. If I say her father, look, her father bought a phone for example, for her. Her father bought a phone for her. How should I change it to passive? Which one is subject here? Her father. Which one is the verb here? Bought, buy. And which one is the object? A phone, and also her. You can say her father bought her a phone, or you can say her father bought a phone for her. Both of them are what? Right. How should I change it to passive? So now you have to tell me which one is the direct object. So the direct object is a phone. Why? Because her father did not buy her. Her father bought a phone. So here the action of buying happened on what? Phone. What object is this? It's a direct object. Now which one is an indirect object? Her. So we have two options here, two possibilities. Which one should I use first now? Let's say a phone. We can say was bought. A phone was bought. What do we say? For her by her father. Or another way. What's another way? You can also say, very nice. We can say she was, very nice. She was bought a phone by what? By her father. Is it difficult? Okay. Or the next one, if I say I will give you, look, I will give you a paint. Which one is subject here? This is I. Which one is the verb here? Give. Which one is the object? You and paint. How should I change it now? It's double. It's double transitive verb. So we have two ways. Which one is the direct object? Pain. Why? Because the action of giving happens on pain. Will happen in the pain. And the next one is indirect. This is the direct object. This is what? The indirect object. So how should I change? First, we can say a pain will be given. For example, I said if you use like this, we use what? To after some verbs. To you by me. Next one, how should you change it now? We can say you will be given a paint by me. So what do we call this? This is called a double object. So sometimes if you have objective proposition, or for example, we should send, for example, a letter to him. We should send a letter to him. If I say we should send a letter to him, how should I change it now? Okay. Now here, if this is the verb, this is object, and this is another object. How should I change it now?
A letter should be same.
Okay, so change it. We can say a letter should be what? Should be sent to him, okay, by us, or we can say he should be what? Sent a letter. Should be sent a letter. Is it difficult? Okay. Now these are the double or the ditransitive verbs, and these are the ways that we can change. Any question? No? Good. So there are some special cases of changing how to change some sentences to passive, especially how to change the causative verbs. Don't worry, when I teach the causative verbs, I will teach you how to change, and how to change the gerund forms to passive. I will teach you when I teach you gerund, how to change the verb, the infinitives. I will teach you how to change them. So I will teach you the passive forms of those structures when we study them. Right now, if I explain all of them, you will be confused. Okay, so don't worry about them. And if we have time, let's go and talk about how to change the questions. How do you change the questions? For example, we have two kinds of questions. You know that, right? We have double-edged questions and yes/no questions. First of all, if I have a double-edged question, for example, what does she, for example, what does she write? What does she write? How should I change it to passive? How should I change it? It's a double-edged question. Now here, first of all, find the verb. What is the verb? Right. Is it changeable? Does it have any object? Of course. This what asks about the object. Understood? Asks about what? Object. Now this is subject and this is the verb. How should I change it now? We can say, again, we use what? After what, we use the to be verb. So it's simple present tense. What to be verb should I use here? Is. Very nice. What is the past form? What is written by her? What is written by her? Now this is how we can change it. Or if I have another sentence, if I say who, for example, did she help? Who did she help? If another sentence, if I say who painted, for example, who painted this painting? Who painted this painting? Now here the first sentence, look, this who asks about object. Here this is subject, this is what? Verb. And the second who asks about subject, because this is the verb, this is what? Object. This is a subject double-edged question. We have two kinds of double-edged questions. Subject double-edged questions and object. Some of the questions ask about subject, some of the questions ask about the object. Now the first one, how should I change this one? Who did she help? Very nice. So if we use who, we don't change it. After that, we use to be verb. What is the to be verb here? Because a simple past, what should I say? Who was? Past participle of help is what? Helped. And then who was helped by what? Her. So she becomes what? Object. The second sentence. If I say who painted this painting, how should I change it? How should I change this sentence? Now here, this is subject, this is verb, this is object. I say subject becomes object, object becomes what? Subject. But we just live here. Who. Now, what should I say now? Who. What is the past? We can say who was, for example. How can you change this one? Who was painting this painting? What was that? Now, I said this is subject, this is the verb, this is the object. Now, I said subject becomes object, object becomes subject. Now, what is object here? Painting. Well, how should I say now? Who was this? Very nice. Who was this painting? What? What is the past participle of paint? Again, painted. And after that, we use what? By, alone by. In object case, subject cases, we change like that. Now here, this who, now asks about object. Look, this who asks about subject here, and that who asks about object. That's the way we change it. If I have another sentence, if I have like this, for example, whom date, for example, you teach. Now remember, guys, if I say whom, this whom always asks about what? Object. What is subject here? You. Which one is verb here? Teach. How should I change it now? So here we change who to whom, digga. Subject becomes object, object becomes what? Subject. How should I say now? Who was, for example, taught, past form of teach is what? Taught. Who was taught by whom? By you. Remember, guys, when we have whom, because whom is only used for what? Object. And if I want to change it to passive, whom becomes who. And who can be used for both. Or the next one, if I have this one, when did you write? Look, when did you paint? When did you paint this painting? Or if I have another sentence where, for example, did you paint this painting? Or if I have another one, this sentence, why did you paint this painting? How should I change these sentences to passive? How should I change them to passive? Now, if I say, when did you paint this painting? Change it to passive. Here, first one, we use when, don't worry about when. After when, we use to be verb. What is it to be verb? When was this painting, very nice. When was this painting what? Painted. Or the next question, okay, by you. If you want to mention, we can say what? By you. Or the next sentence, where did you paint this painting? How should I change it now? Very nice. Where was, very nice, this painting, where was this painting painted? By whom? By you. Or the last one, why did you paint this painting? How should I change it now? Very nice. Why was this painting painted? By whom? By? This is the way we can change it. Is it difficult? Of course not difficult. But you have to be looking for the verbs that are transitive. And if they are not transitive, if I say, why did you come here? Can you change it now? Why do you go out? You don't have to say, why is out gone by you? It is not changeable. We don't have to change it. Why? Because it's intransitive verb. Okay, good. Now, if the verb is intransitive, we cannot change it. Now, this is how we can change the WH questions. If we have yes, no questions, how can we change? If I have a sentence like this, if I have this one, look, does he, for example, do his homework? Does he do his homework? How can you change this sentence to passive? Very nice. If I want to change it here, this is subject, this is the verb. Homework is what? Object. Again, we used to be verb at the beginning. What should I say? For homework, we use what? Is. After that, we use what? Is his homework. Homework. What tense is this? Present tense. What should I say? Is his homework done by him? Is it difficult? No. If I say simple past tense, look. Did she, for example, bring, for example, your book? Did she bring your book? How should I change it? What is subject here? She. Which one is verb? And this is object. How should I change? Was your, very nice, your book brought, was your book brought by her? Was your book brought by her? Or if I say another sentence, will she help you? Change it to passive. Will she help you? Very nice. Again, we say will, and then we say you. Will you be helped? By whom? By her? You have any questions? No. Now, these are all about the changing active sentences to passive sentences. And if you have any questions, you can ask me.